Hello, and welcome to episode 51 of the Pos-cast with Rabbi Shmuel Posner, myself, Seth Hellman. Rabbi, how are we doing today?
Hashem, very good. The third day of Nisan, which is 3 days into the month of miracles, because Nisan has two nuns. So it's miracles of miracles. It's a double thing. So, and we're 3 days. 3 days makes a chazaka. You know what a chazaka is?
Yeah, it's when it's like creating a habit where you like, if you, well, I guess there's two things, right? Because a chazaka can be creating a habit. It's like there's an expectation. Like if you went to a minyan 3 days in a row at the exact same time, you're now like expected to be showing up further. But then isn't there something with the chazaka where it's like taking ownership of something?
Yes, very good. My dear friends, to all the listeners out there, you should know that our good friend Shais Aaron, a.k.a. Seth, is a Daf Yomi person. And so this was actually a very important test, which he passed. So
Sometimes I'm actually paying attention.
Yeah, I know. Not now. Oh, it's not. So yeah, three times make like a neder, it's a vow. But you were spot on with the chazaka of ownership, that if you own the field for 3 years, then you no longer have to have written proof that it's yours. So it becomes established. So we're established in the mode of miracles of Nisan. We want to see them in a revealed way. So let's be upfront here for people that are listening this week and into prosperity, that this was being recorded 1 day later than usual. I got one comment from an ardent viewer who's actually a fellow shliach. And in case you think that only fellow shluchim listen to this, I actually got a message from an alumni from at least 20 years ago. And she's like, oh, she just discovered it. I know, I guess I posted it on Instagram or Facebook or status. Somehow she found it and she said, I'm so happy to hear your voice. She didn't make any comments about the content. So everybody takes up on different things. So hopefully got something from the content too. So the reason why we didn't record yesterday is I did the pre-Pesach, pre-Yud Aleph Nisim trip to New York, which meant we were on the road 7:30, me and another fellow who I came along to help him to drive, not a student. And we drove 7:30, we left, we got to the Oyel, 30 or something, did our davening there, then off to Brooklyn to purchase provisions for Pesach. When you go, you go to a supermarket and shop, right? Normally you go to a supermarket, people are walking around, now that even less people because everybody's ordering everything online. When you go to a kosher store, especially there's one in Borough Park, a mega store, mega kosher store, the Kailo store, everybody knows the Kailo store. People come from out of town to go shopping there, like me. And it's a huge place, got everything. Good prices, obviously. There's no one to buy there. And it's just like, it's a semi-madhouse. Because there's so many people there. It's crowded and everything. But I would say, and we would take, there was one person who was a shtickle rude to me. But it's okay. But then after that, I said to the guy with me, I said, I think the good people are winning out over the rude ones. So people are very kind and understanding, and everyone's chilling out. They were busy and they were focused. They were chilling out. Then off to Crown Heights, do the Crown Heights pickup. Because the wine and the fish you get in Crown Heights, everybody knows that. So,
of course, everyone knows this.
What else would I do in Crown Heights? The wine, the fish. What else?
770.
770 for Mincha. What else?
Go see your stroll.
We'll get to that in a moment.
Go see your father.
Father, Baruch Hashem. Yes. So I went into funny place the meat order. She ordered bought out half the store.
Got a lot of hungry college students to feed.
Amen. The Yisrael all should come. So I was actually thinking yesterday or the day before, I was thinking about my brother and his kids. They're married. I don't see them very much anymore. Then I walked into the store, and who's there? My niece, my brother, the Sheikh's daughter. I said, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you. How you doing?" And she had a boy, probably about 1 year old, approximately, maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly, maybe 2 years old. And so I started kuchking with him, and that went well.
Rabbi definitely did the bris on this child and just has no idea.
No, I don't do bris, and sorry, but
you gotta learn.
1 second. Did I tell you the time I fainted at a bris?
What?
I never told you the story.
I don't think so.
When you write the biography, you'll put this in. So I was a shliach in the yeshiva in Miami, and it was a bris. And I said, okay, I want to see what it looks like. Like how does it go? Like who stands and watches a bris? You stand in the back, wait for and the male's there, the father. But I said, I want to see. I was standing behind my friend Yitzhak Raskin, who's the shliach in Vermont, in Burlington, Vermont, and I'm watching, and the next thing you hear is like, what are you doing? Because I had sort of fallen on him. And then the next thing I know is I'm waking up, lying flat on a bench. So basically, I saw the blood, and that was the end of it. So, so that's why I decided not to become a moil, even though I did practice shchita, animals.
Right. Wait. How does that?
Right.
Okay.
You would think blood is blood. Blood is not blood. There's cow blood, there's chicken blood, and then there's human blood. Human blood is a different story. Anyway, and so the first time I actually saw them shech the cow was a little harrowing. I wasn't going to faint though. Anyway, getting back to Genendi and that's her name, and her son. So he started to, the face of the baby, he started to crunch up a little bit, to cry. And I said, oh, I got to go. So I turned around, and who's there? Did you get the emails I sent you?
Yes.
I turned around, who's there? The shliach from Hartford, Rabbi Yaska Guppin. I want to show you the picture here, because there you go. Can we blow that up a little bit? Oh, perfect. Oh, excellent. Okay, that woman was reading her shopping list. She's doing her own things. So there I am, gesturing to Rabbi Guppin. Right now, in his hand is the piece of paper. You know what's on the piece of paper?
Shopping list?
His shopping list, exactly. I wanted to tell him you're supposed to get an app that has it all on.
Yeah, I mean, I do it on Google Drive personally in an Excel sheet, but
no, you don't. There's a shopping app. Now, when you get married, may it be soon, Emir Hashem, to the right person, amen. So then, the shopping app has you and your wife on it. So as you're taking things, as you're marking things off the list, she's adding things to the list. So you can end up. I mean, it does happen. So, no, seriously. Sometimes I'm shopping. I'm taking things off. I look at it. All of a sudden, it's like 3 new things. So I have to sometimes call Khan. Did you actually put these things on, or whatever? Anyway, so you look at the picture, and this would be a classic picture to put on some Chabad website. Shliach from Hartford, Connecticut. Shliach from Boston. In this store, it would be a great advertisement for them. But then people say, "So what were you guys talking about? What do you think we were talking about?"
You were trying to find something. I had no idea where it was.
Close, but 180 degrees wrong. He was looking for something. Because what you don't see in my left hand, I'm holding 2 boxes of toothpaste. Kosher Pesach Adwe toothpaste. Because, toothpaste should be kosher Pesach. Some would say, you have to make sure about these things. You're putting something into your mouth on Pesach.
More importantly, you need to change your toothbrush.
Right. That's obvious. Putting it in your mouth. Yeah, it's not obvious.
It wasn't obvious to me until last year.
Well, now it's obvious. So he sees me. So I go over to him. Oh, how you doing? And he sees me. And what does he say to me? Where's the toothpaste?
No hello, no how are you? Oh, good. Where's the toothpaste?
No, there was a hello and how are you. Then we got straight to the toothpaste. So if you go to Empire Kosher, the toothpaste is on the right, the first aisle in the front. It's right. No, it's on the side. It's in the front. It's right there. So anyway, I thought it was interesting. Sometimes you see 2 people talking. Oh, they must be talking about something really important, which was important, I guess, because you need the toothpaste. So when I go to New York, sometimes I tell my family I'm coming, and sometimes they don't. Now, where did this picture come from? This picture was sent to me by my daughter, or our daughter, Dvora Leah. Where's Dvora Leah right now? She's on her way back from Israel. She made a stopover, and she's on her way back to Boston. She sent me this picture, and she writes in the caption, you don't see the caption here, "You were spotted." Now, so that's on our family chat. That's followed up by Yisro forwarding a message that says 4 words, "Just saw your pops." Now, who is that from? We're going to get back to that in a second, because the next message after that is Shalom forwards a message, I assume from his wife, I didn't confirm this, "Saw Genendi in Empire Kosher and told me your father is in town." Okay. That's followed by another message from Yisrael forwards a message from his wife. What does it say? "My mother saw your father." Now, his brother-in-law, actually, I was standing outside by this time, and his mother came over and said, she said something, and then I didn't hear what she said, and then she said, "You're Yisrael's father, right?" I said, yeah. And of course, I wasn't expecting to see her, so I was looking when she came over, like, who's this woman that's talking to me? And I immediately, when I heard her voice, I said, "Oh, that's Yisrael's mother-in-law."
Oh my god. The rabbi is so stark that the only woman he can recognize are his daughters and his wife. He can't even recognize his
Wait.
own son's mother-in-law.
So then Chaya from New Haven, she messages with that, smiley face on the curve. Then Yisrael forwards another message, which I guess was in continuation of, "I just saw your pops." And there's a story behind this. Maybe you can. And he forwards a message, picked up some GF. Now, what's GF?
Girlfriend, gluten-free, gefilte fish.
Yes. Well, here's the deal. On the way to New York, I made a call to the fish store to make an order for my fish, my gefilte fish. Who picks up the phone? Yisrael's friend Mendel. I said, "Oh, no. So we're schmoozing around it all." So Mendel thought that part of his responsibility working in the fish store is also to report to immediate relatives that their father or whatever was spotted in the store. Anyway, so that was that. Now you say my daughter's record. So as I'm parked on Kingston Avenue, somebody knocks on my window, and that was Miriam shows up. And she said, "Oh, what are you doing here?" Because I didn't want to tell them I'm there, because I'm on the move concert. They want to meet up, but this and that. Anyways, left that be. Then later on the way home, this worked out quite well, because my good friend Fishel Grossman from Los Angeles, was his daughter was getting married about a half an hour away from Crown Heights. A nice little place in the corner. Mazel tov, yeah, it was beautiful. And so he when I went to visit him, about 4 weeks or 5 weeks ago at Matt Schaeffar's wedding, I stayed in his house, but he wasn't there because he was in New York while his daughter was getting engaged. He said, "Oh, you got to come to the wedding." So I showed up to the wedding, and he was busy, and I walked over and tapped him, and he's like, he was so happy to see me. Why am I telling you all this? Because after the chuppah, I was standing there, and some woman comes over to me, and she says, you're Rabbi Posner, right, from Boston?" I said, "Yes." "And you're Miriam's father?" I said, "Yes." "Well, my Miriam and your Miriam are friends." And I just looked at her like, "Why are you telling me this? What am I supposed to do?" So I asked her name, thinking I would recognize it. I don't recognize the name. And I'm so now my obvious Yisrael kicks in. I don't want to make this woman feel completely ridiculous. So I'm trying to show interest, how they know, what they know, and trying to place, maybe I know something about this woman. I know nothing. And it was very nice. And I passed on the message to Miriam that
you're on some kind of a roll today, man.
I'm just telling you what I'm just I don't make the news. I report the news. This is what happened.
You are, the news is you.
No. This is Hashem running the world. Look, the theme of the Pos-cast, that's POS-cast, as you know if you're here, is Hashem runs the world. So this is what happens. You meet people that you don't expect to meet, and it's all orchestrated because that's what Hashem, and everything works out exactly the right way. So after this, I did go to 770 Dam Mincha. I didn't meet anybody I know or didn't want to know. And then I went to my father's house. And now usually what I do is when I go to 770, I go downstairs to Dam Mincha, then I'll walk upstairs and walk through the upstairs for like nostalgia, soaking. Literally, the Rebbe once said, he didn't talk about himself, talk about the previous Rebbe, that this is the building that the Rebbe, my father-in-law, davened and learned Torah and did kind deeds to other Jews for 10 years. So, talking about the holiness that's embedded literally in the physical building, because all the holiness that was done there. So I'm not that attuned to be able to feel holiness in buildings, but to be able to remember and to feel the memories, bring them alive. So I usually go upstairs and just walk through. This time I didn't do that because I don't know. I wanted to make sure that we got out of Crown Heights as soon as we can, and if we can stop by the wedding and then drive back to Boston. Because, driving back at night is, when you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, even though we had a second driver. So Baruch Hashem, we didn't do anything dangerous. We switched off and all that, so it was good. But I didn't want to waste time in 770. Not that walking to 770 was a waste of time, but I did want to go to my father. And that's a huge mitzvah. And as I'm sitting and talking to my father, so in walks in this guy, and believe it or not, I looked at him and I remembered who he was and remembered his name. This happened to me because a year ago he stopped in Boston. This is, I think, my sister's, I'm not going to say anything, her son. I would say her oldest son, but I don't get into trouble. But I think it was her oldest son. And his name is Zalmi. And he walks and says, hi. Now, he actually confirmed that it was almost exactly a year since we had met. He had come to Boston for a business situation he's involved in. And he came to the Chabad to visit me. That was very beautiful. And so he takes out his phone, and he remembers that it was exactly a year since we had met. So we were there talking, and my father's birthday, soll sein gesund, so lange Jahren, he should live long and be well, is Yud Aleph Nissen. Thank you. You know what Yud Aleph Nissen is? Yud Aleph Nissen is the Rebbe's birthday. So this is special. And today's the 3rd, so it's 9 days. So we were talking about, how old is he, this and that. And so I wanted to show him what year my father was born. So on the mantelpiece of the little bookcase in my father's house, there's a letter which I sent to you. If you won't be so kind to post the letter that was in the email, this is a fascinating letter. And by the way, the shliach that asked me why we didn't do the Pos-cast yesterday, I said, we have something special today. And here it is. So this letter was written, you see the date on top, Baruch Hashem, Dalid, Chavches Nissen, Tafresh Peiches. Right, that's a pay there. So the 4th day of the week, the 28th day of Nisan, Tafresh Peiches is, what year is Tafresh Peiches? It is 1928. Okay? And it's addressed as follows. Yudidi Talmidenu Hanayla, stop. Our friend, student, the exalted student, Vamashubach, the praiseworthy, Vasud v'chassid, Tirius chassid, Ish Yirei Lakim, Reiner Reb Shalom Shicha Shub. It's a salutary. Shalom is my grandfather, and Shub is Sheikh Rebbe. He's a Sheikh of my grandfather. You knew that from last. Oh, that's good. They got the whole letter. Stop right there. So Shalom u'bracha, b'mayna al michtave hini levarchei. In response to your letter, behold, I'm blessing you a birchas malta with the bracha of Malatov. Avur haben shneid lehem lemaltov, for the son that was born to you to Malatov. Yitan Hashem yisbarach v'gadlu im yeser b'neihem. You should merit to raise him with your other children. That's the common blessing, with expansiveness physically and spiritually. And Hashem should help that his parnasa, your lives, because I'll tell you what the story behind that, should be expansive and with ease. And Hashem, who is good, will bestow you with good and material and physical. For all those that put effort for your benefit. Hadar Shloim, the one who seeks your well-being, and blesses you, and the signature, who signed the letter? Can you read that? Yosef. You see Yosef there? Yud, Vav, Samach, and then there's a final fe, and then the next name is not legible if you can't really read it if you didn't know what it was. Yosef Yitzchak. So that's the Frierdiker Rebbe, the previous Rebbe. So this is the original letter of the previous Rebbe sent to my father's father upon being informed of his birth. So he was born in Alf Nissen. This is a mere 17 days later that this letter was sent. And at that time, my grandparents were in Israel, or as it was known then as 1928?
British mandate.
Palestine.
Oh. I mean, I wasn't going to go that far, but...
Well, my father had on his passport said Palestine.
I guess it's a
He
fair
was
point.
very
Yeah, I mean, it was the
pro-Palestinian.
British mandate over Palestine, yeah. So
He was very pro-Palestinian. So that letter. So there we saw the year was 1928. Anyway, so that's pretty amazing that somebody. I'm not going to mention who gave me the letter because I don't know if he wants me to say, but somehow somebody handed me the letter and he said, "Where'd you get this from?" And I can't tell. I'm not going to tell you. Okay, don't tell me. So I thought that's where the place it should be, my father's house. Yeah. Yeah. So that was, I think that was, I mean, I knew the letter was there. I'd seen it, numerous times, obviously, but it was nice to show it to my nephew who wasn't aware of it and was very excited to take that photo they took of it and sent it along I asked him to send me a copy so I could share it with the world. So let's now that you know what I did yesterday. So the question came up. In fact, this came up amongst the shluchim, and I want to share this with you. But before I share this with you, I want to remind everybody who's listening or watching to make preparations for Pesach in the proper time. One of the things that people that delay to do is to sell their chametz. And somehow they think like to do it like the day before Pesach. The rabbi sells the chametz the day before Pesach in the mornings. There will be this year, right preceding Pesach, Erev Pesach.
So Monday morning.
Monday morning at 8 o'clock. So they'll call at 11 o'clock on Monday. And by that time, it's like, it's a whole hassle. And when you talk about selling chametz, essentially what you are doing is you're appointing the rabbi to be your proxy to sell your chametz. If you read the little form that Chabad sends out, or read the form on our website, chabadboston.org, you'll see it says, I hereby appoint, whatever exactly the words are, but the content is I appoint Rabbi so-and-so to be my agent to sell my chametz, which is in this location, and you sign your name. So what you're doing is now you could appoint the rabbi to sell you, and the chametz will be sold when he sells it, which will be on Erev Pesach. So you can appoint him to be your emissary, representative, proxy to sell your chametz. You can do that a month in advance. There's no mitzvah to wait to the last minute. So do that as better sooner than later, because if you forget, it becomes a whole halachic tangled issue. And you can avoid it so easily. That's number one. Number two is obviously clean your house and have a plan how you're going to keep Pesach, kosher Pesach. It's very important. There's a lot of mitzvahs and a lot of transgressions you can do when you eat chametz. So prepare yourself to be able to have a proper kosher Pesach, and not you should I'll eat matzah and gefilte fish. You're not going to eat matzah and gefilte fish for 8 days, and if you do, hey, what a rachmanis. This is not a good thing to do. So you got to prepare, and got to get ready your shmura matzah for your seder. If you don't have any, go look in a store, or go to your nearest Chabad house, or probably go online. I'm 100% sure, without even looking, because that's the way things work online, you'll be able to get somebody to ship matzah to you. So get your matzah, get your stuff for your seder, and think about other Jews. See, there's one of the mitzvahs that we do, things that we do before Pesach is called what's it called? Moyes chitim. Why that slipped my mind. Moyes chitim, money for wheat, which means to help people that are disadvantaged to be able to have money to buy Pesach provisions because it's very expensive. The same way you do it physically, think about spiritually. Are there people who you know who may not be going to a Seder, who may not know the importance of keeping Pesach, and you can invite them and educate them and help them be part of this amazing Yontif, which is so important, this time of redemption. So that's what I wanted to remind you of. Now I want to share with you, because it was a proposal to add a prayer in the Seder for the hostages. And so somebody posted this letter. It's from the Rebbe. He wrote this Rosh Chodesh Nisan Tafshin Lamed Zayin, 1977. And it's 3 pages. I'm not going to read it to you, but I'm going to give you the content. And the content is that the Rebbe is very, very respectful of this person. And this person wrote a book, I guess, about Pesach or about he wrote a Haggadah and added, I guess, his comments, and it has also pictures by his son. So the Rebbe basically says like this. It says in the Torah, you shouldn't, in Chumash Devarim, beginning of Chumash Devarim, 4th chapter, you should not add or subtract from the Torah. So the question is, why would you have to tell somebody not to add to the Torah? Why would somebody want to, we warn a person, be careful. So what's the greater danger? Somebody's going to add something to the Torah, or somebody's going to take away from the Torah? So first it says, don't add and don't detract, don't take away from the Torah. It should have said the other way around. Don't take away from the Torah, and for sure, and don't even add, even if you're going to add something. And so the reason the Rebbe suggests that it says it in the first, it says don't add, then it says don't detract, is because adding is something you think like, it's not a big, what's so terrible about it? But this is the opening to say that the Torah is amendable. You can change it. So the first time you do it, you add something. Well, that's not bad. That's wonderful. But so the Rebbe is saying, don't go down that slippery slope of then adding something, because that can lead people to think that they can therefore also subtract from it, take away from it. And so here that this person is adding this person was adding a prayer. Did I mention what the prayer was? The prayer was for the 6 million. And the Rebbe said, this first of all, number one is the order of how God is very specific. It's been enshrined by great people, and it's been there for a long time. Don't mess with it. And especially when you bring in something which can be somewhat depressing to people, and it's supposed to be a time of rejoicing. So why would you want to put that into the Haggadah? Now, of course, there's times for it. We have the 3 weeks. We have Tisha B'Av. There are times that are set aside to remember people that are lost and people that have been taken from us. But the Pesach Seder is not the place for it. Now, I'm not here to openly to give the final decision whether or not the prayer that the chief rabbi suggested they insert into the Haggadah should or should not be said. But I think it's very on Pesach, but clearly it should not be in part of the text of the Haggadah itself, as what the Rebbe suggested. And are we we abandoning the Seder? No, we're not abandoning the Seder. And there was one time they were saying that for people that were missing to have an empty chair at the table. And what we do is if you want to remember the hostages, who God willing all of them will be completely free and be able to rejoin with their families before Pesach. But if God forbid not, chas v'shalom not, what we should do is we should dedicate a chair at our table for them, not an empty chair. It should be a chair with a Jew who wouldn't otherwise go to a Seder. So you know what? There are people here who, not by their own choice, are being prevented from participating in a Seder. You take their place. You be there saying, I am here so that they should get the merit of it. Or I'm there to strengthen the Jewish people and to show that they're not forgotten. So in that way, we're not inserting any type of depression. We're putting a lot of hope. We're not adding to the Haggadah, but we're doing a positive thing to bring goodness and holiness to the world. And even before we actually have the Seder, and we actually invite that extra person who joins us for the Seder, the fact that we're talking about it, the fact that you call somebody up and you invite them to the Seder, and Hashem sees that we are caring about each other, and think about the fact that it is a celebration of the redemption of the Jews from Egypt. We're now not in a state of complete redemption. We're in a state of exile, the opposite of going out of Egypt. And so all the good that we're pouring into the world will bring about that ultimate redemption. And so together with all of the Jews, wherever they are, will be gathered in Yerushalayim with the third Beis Hamikdash, and will make the Karban Pesach Mashiach Tzidkenu.
Amen. And with that, thank you so much for listening to episode 51 of the Pos-cast with Rabbi Shmuel Posner. We're coming up on a year, Rabbi. Almost a full year of Pos-cast.
Oh, that's right. Because you graduated, and that's when this started.
Yeah. So, I mean, we started a little bit before I graduated, right? So, one more week, we're at 52. And then, there you go. That's a full year of Pos-cast. So, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you all next week.
Pos-cast 52 coming to you from Yerushalayim, rebuilt city.
Amen.
Amen.